Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and it's been a long time coming, but welcome to the very beginning of this little playthrough of Subnautica. Obviously any of you who have been around for a little while know I'm very interested in this game in general, and now that it's finally complete, I think we're going to give it a little proper playthrough from start to finish. However, since I do actually know where I'm going and what I'm doing, this won't be so much a completionist playthrough as sort of a slightly quicker, but also more laid-back kind of playthrough than my typical ones. I'm not going to be trying to show off every little thing in the game or explore every area. We're just going to kind of play it. And we're going to play it on survival, even though that might add in a little tedium, but I don't have any problem editing out some of the slower stuff as it crops up.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
And since these Lifepods are presumably built by the lowest bidder, it knocked us out and caught on fire in an emergency. So let's put out this fire. Alright.
You have
And of course,
suffered
being
minor
completed.
head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
I was gonna say, since this is completed now, there's all sorts of little polishing touches like that. And a whole lot more voice acting, so those logs that I was picking up before will actually have voice acting now for the most part. Alright, so it's not on fire anymore, but our life pod is still not looking great, so we're gonna need to repair this shit, and that means we're gonna need to make some tools. Alright, so right off the bat, I don't know why you start with 50 food, but almost full water. Just gonna take these. Water tends to run out faster than food, and we do not have a lot of it. Also, we got a medkit fabricator. So, to fix all this stuff, we are going to need a repair tool. I'm actually wondering if we don't have a repair tool right now. Well, let's head outside first.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
Alright, so we're a little farther back behind the engines than the last time I played. I'm just wondering. I guess this is just cosmetic. We can actually still make the repair tool without the systems being online. Alright, well, we're just gonna need to pick some shit up and start building some basic tools. Because before we can really focus on any long-term goals, we're gonna need stuff like a knife, a flashlight, definitely a flashlight. You don't want to get to the first night without one, because you basically can't do anything without one.
Copper is an essential component of all powered
Metal
equipment.
salvage.
Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible.
Don't want to pick up too much salvage yet, because I'm gonna need the space for other stuff. Okay.
Oxygen.
So quartz seems to mostly appear in caves now. It used to be all over the place. and very easy to spot. However, it no longer glows in the dark like it used to. So it's not like I can just find it easily at night. And let's grab ourselves a peeper. Come here, you little shit. Yep.
New creature discovered.
Where was that quartz cave I was just looking at? Okay, gotta watch out. Because there's probably, yep, some crashes in here. Alright. They're not that easy to avoid when you don't have flippers yet.
Oxygen.
However, I'll grab us some cave sulfur, which we need to make a repair tool. We're also pretty much going to need to make a air tank immediately. Which means we're going to need quartz and titanium, I think. I'm not going to be too certain about a lot of these recipes because they keep changing them so often.
New creature discovered.
Grab that bladderfish. Because we can make him into water.
May have unexpected applications. Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
And we're gonna need some creepvine seeds over here to make silicone rubber. I believe we need 2 of those for that, but I might be thinking of lubricant.
New blueprint acquired.
Get out of here, stalker. I never understood when people are afraid of these stalkers. They're so slow and awkward that even when they try to chase you, you can just kind of ignore them. I mean, as long as you're not actively swimming into them, it's hard to get attacked by them. But I know some people are like, fuck that, I won't go anywhere near the kelp zone. Alright, so we got some tools. Break down this titanium. Again, a lot of this crafting stuff I'll probably cut out in later episodes, or at least, you know, narrow down a little bit. But in this first one, we'll just play it, you know, kind of how you would naturally. I don't actually need that lubricant.
Essential in construction of vehicles and power plants.
And a battery. Turn the bladderfish into some water. Cook that peeper.
The
Again,
fabricator cooks small organisms
I might be a little quick here, but
disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
this is not my first underwater alien rodeo, so there are plenty of people, I'm sure, who are playing this for the first time. I am not one of them. Okay, O2 tank. Fins.
New blueprint acquired.
So now I can swim
The fabricator draws
faster.
from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Okay, I need more silicone. I need glass to make a flashlight. And okay, well, I just need a bunch more silicone. I should have turned it into lubricant. Okay. And definitely going to need a scanner because that's how we're going to get all of our blueprints to make better
The
stuff.
scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints.
However,
from
we don't need
salvaged
that
technology and to
extinguisher
record alien
anymore.
biological data.
Just thinking, what else should I be focusing on? Obviously flashlight and knife. So I'm going to need more quartz and more silicone. And also another battery, which means we need more copper. I find early on copper can actually be a pain, because it only comes from one type of resource node, and more often than not you'll just get titanium instead from that one. Whereas a lot of the other resources in the game, you can get them from multiple different kinds of harvesting nodes. Alright, so let's just kind of... Oh, we got a wreck right here. Find some early blueprints. And let's do a little self-scan.
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. Continuing to monitor.
So now that I have fins, I swim a little faster, and obviously we have better oxygen capacity. Grav trap. I've never actually found a use for these. I mean, I guess you can just pop them in the water and they'll suck fish into them, so you can just harvest them at your leisure. Maybe we'll pop a few of those down once I've got a base going. Let's see what we can get out of them. Okay, what else do we got here? Gotta kind of hurry up because it's getting dark. And again, I don't want to spend the first night with no flashlight. Okay, nothing there. Beacon. Beacons are very handy. And I'm gonna need that to remember where my base is once I build one, because I will forget otherwise. Okay, can I get in here? Is there a door that doesn't require any tools to open? If there is, I can't see it because it's dark. And it's not even an openable door. Oh well. We'll forget it for now. There. What I want to do, also, make sure to use this first aid kit, since we did get blown up. What I want to do is find another cave, so I can grab some quartz.
Oxygen.
Because we need quartz and a battery for that flashlight. Well, we need glass, which you make out of quartz. Cutting it pretty close here. Did I already use my other quartz? No, okay. So you need 2 quartz to make glass, so here we go. And, jeez. Here comes the darkness. I also have this set to cinematic mode, to show you the difference here. Or filmic color grading. If I turn that off, you can see it's a lot brighter, but I think it does look better with that on, at least during the day. However, we'll turn it off for now so we can actually see. I was just tooling around with that in my test save. These guys look a lot better at night now. Very vibrant. It's a very vibrant game in general. Very pleasant to look at. Especially now that it doesn't have horrible stuttering problems when you load into a new area. Obviously, that was a very big problem for this game throughout its entire development, is anytime you was loading in a new chunk of map, the game would just stutter to a stop, even with an SSD. Alright, so I'm just looking for a node here, because we need that copper to make a new battery. Suppose you'll have to let me know later on if I should turn Filmic back on or not. But I guess I'll leave it off for the moment.
New blueprint acquired.
Okay, well that's not the most useful thing. What we want to find is a seaglide. That would be very useful.
30 seconds.
Man, having trouble finding these limestone nodes. They should be on the sides of these cliffs, but I don't know, they're kind of hard to see at night without a flashlight. Like, there's a stalker directly behind me, and he still can't catch up to me.
Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core.
He's like, I'm gonna get you.
During planet fall.
I guess you don't need their teeth anymore. Maybe you do. I actually don't remember. It's been a while since I've had to make enameled glass, or reinforced glass, or whatever it's called now. Okay, grab some of that. I'm gonna need some creep vine.
Life on this planet grows in unusually distinct
as well?
And diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
But I need the knife for that. Okay. So it's getting brighter now. Hopefully I can friggin' spot one of these stone nodes. Problem is they don't really stand out that much. So I'll just kind of squint here and see if I can see one. Usually the easiest way to avoid a crash like that is to just make them turn, because they don't turn very well. Alright. I'm not really finding any nodes here. Oh, there's definitely going to be some here, but I'm going to want to get air first. I'm also going to not want to explode while doing that. But this giant coral tube down here does have nodes in it. I just can't see them because it's dark as dicks in here. The other thing is, they don't detonate on contact. You can see I pretty much just bumped right into them there. So they accelerate right past you if you swim at them. You guys can probably see what's in here better than I can, because I'll probably bump up the brightness for really dark parts like this. Oop. Okay, he didn't actually come out. If I do this, I can sort of, find limestone. Titanium, don't need that. What I do need is some oxygen.
Oxygen.
Alright, so let's head back. Grab another peeper snack while we go. Oop. Slippery little bastard.
Silver-based wiring kits are an essential component of many habitat modules.
Okay, there's some copper. Now I just need some mushrooms. 2 mushrooms and 1 copper for every battery. Didn't realize how far I got. Finding the seaglide, which we should be able to find blueprints for just kind of around the safe shallows area, will definitely speed up my movement until we can get a sea moth going. I never really used them much in the pre-release builds, but I kind of eventually, late into the development cycle, realized their usefulness. Alright, so titanium. And silicon. And glass. And battery. Which should get us a fair amount of stuff. Okay, so there's the high capacity tank. We need 2 glass for that and 1 silver. That'll be something I want to go for pretty quick, because more air is always better. So, repair tool, flashlight first. And a knife.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
Because there are still no guns of any sort in the game, except the stasis rifle. Okay, so what else do I need now that I've got that stuff? Habitat builder, it's going to be something I want to get. So for the high capacity tank, I just need glass times 2. And I actually have enough quartz for that already. Oh, right, I have to unequip my tank first. Otherwise it doesn't count as being in your inventory. And again, unlike earlier builds, you can't just build a shit ton of air tanks to fill your inventory with. You can only equip one at a time now. Rebreather will also be important, but we actually don't want to bother with that just yet, because we need a radiation suit first. And you can't have both equipped. Alright, let's get this thing fixed.
Lifepod secondary systems online. Running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
It says incoming radio communication online, but we actually have to fix the radio first.
This is Aurora. Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours. Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
So as we go, this thing will give us the locations of other life pods, and thankfully those signals don't take up space in your inventory anymore, they just count as beacons. Okay, so things are going pretty well. Got a basic suite of tools, so I am gonna shuffle these around. So now it's time to get out there and start finding some blueprints. Where was that one that was right next to me? Is this one here? Now that it's not so dark, let's see if I can find a way inside, because I think there might be a few things in here. A chair. Very important.
New blueprint acquired.
Also feels pretty good having this much air this early in the game. Okay, there's a door here. Oh, that was disorienting.
Integrating new PDA data.
And we'll check that out a little later.
New blueprint acquired.
Well, there's furniture in here, but that's not that handy, especially since we don't have anywhere to put it. One of the other things I'm going to want to get pretty quickly is a laser cutter, because we need that to get into most of the wrecks, or at least to get full amount of stuff out of each wreck. Let's see, mobile vehicle bay. Also important so we can get ourselves a sea moth once we find the blueprints. Alright, so there's a seaglide.
New blueprint acquired.
And the beacon. So the seaglide is definitely something I'm going to want to invest in pretty quick, because it'll speed up my movement. What is that? Is that anything? Oh. It just kind of looks like something from a distance. I guess it's just a few of those. Alright, let's get some air. And let's see. I do like that they eventually added the ability to check your blueprints without having to be at a computer. So now I can actually just look, what do I need, and grab it. Seaglide, battery, lubricant, copper wire, titanium. Alright. Lubricant I already have. Copper wire and battery. I have enough copper. I think I need 2 copper for a wire, so I'm going to need 1 more. Then I can grab the seaglide, and that does seem like a good place to stop, even though we haven't really gone anywhere. Again, not the most exciting start, but now that we've got the kind of basics set up, we can do a lot more adventuring in future episodes. Okay, copper ore. Probably going to be a few more crashes in here.
Cave systems. Sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool.
He only scratched me a little bit. Alright, got my copper. We've got some extra quartz. I'm going to want to grab some creep vine before we head back, because we're going to need it for something. I can't even remember what off the top of my head. Grab 2 samples.
New blueprint acquired.
But yeah, I think this is a pretty good start. I think our next big goal will be to focus on building a radiation suit, because the Aurora is going to explode soon, and we won't be able to go anywhere else on the map without getting irradiated. So we'll need that so that we can get to the Aurora and repair it, and then I'll be able to build stuff like the rebreather. Okay, Pathfinder tool. I believe I need to make fiber mesh is why I needed this. Okay, so battery, lubricant, copper wire. Grab the lubricant out of here. Make this just to get that creepvine cluster out of my inventory. Battery. Copper wire. And bam, seaglide.
The seaglide will increase your effective exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest Lifepod or habitat.
Okay. So, the only downside to this thing is that it does use a lot of batteries, and we don't have a way to recharge batteries right now, so I'll have to make a few extra. But I think that's a pretty good start. You know, let's just go out for one quick little spin, see if I can find any nearby wrecks. I don't have all the wreck locations memorized, I just have a general idea where they are, so don't be surprised if I actually have trouble finding some of this stuff. I think there isn't actually anything here. Oh, there's a counter. Can't go without that.
New blueprint acquired.
Also, since this is the first episode, if people want to toss out some ideas for where I should set up shop with my base, I would be interested in hearing some suggestions. Preferably nowhere too distant, like I'm not going to build a base in the Jelly Caves because that is completely out of the way of everything else. I'm looking for a kind of central location that isn't hard to get to from anywhere else. I think this is a bioreactor. Salt, which we'll need to make better water. You can use salt and some coral tubes to make bleach, and then use that to make water. Or a larger bottle of water, rather.
Short-range scans suggest this biome supports extensive biodiversity and connects to a number of small cave networks.
This area always did look nice. The grassy plateau. And there's not nearly as many asshole sand sharks around here now. There still are a few, but it could get pretty crazy before with how many would come after you at once.
Blueprint acquired.
Especially once they made them like super aggressive, so they constantly tried to attack you. And there's our first reef back. And his little buddy over there. What do you got here? This plant always goes crazy on these reef backs.
30 seconds.
I remember at one point in development they considered the idea of making like a giant reef back with a whole biome on top of it, but unsurprisingly they cut that because that's a little overly ambitious. Alright. I know I said we were going to stop, but this is one of those games that's definitely a little hard to put down. The next thing you know, hours have passed. Alright, this looks like a piece of a sea moth. Scanner room. I assume the scanner room is no longer broken. It used to be the case where once you built one,
Integrating new PDA data.
it would for some reason break all of the life form
meters.
audio.
Oxygen efficiency decreased.
Also, yeah, they made it so your oxygen efficiency actually goes down when you go deeper, instead of just the rebreather making you breathe longer in general at depth. As you saw there, if you scan something you already have, you just get 2 pieces of titanium instead.
Seconds. Local scans show a nearby cave entrance, depth 90 meters, leading to an unknown environmental biome.
And that's actually just mentioning the entrance to the jelly shroom caves. Probably not going to go down there without a seamoth.
Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
Looks like I can't get in here without a laser cutter. Alright.
Blueprint acquired.
There's the Seamoth blueprint. So I could build one now, except I don't have the blueprint for the vehicle construction bay yet. Battery charger, that's handy to have. Command chair, that's less handy to have. Oh, there we go.
Blueprint acquired.
Just need one more of those. We're gonna cut it close here with oxygen. Okay, so there's the laser cutter fragment.
New blueprint acquired.
So I can't get through
30
here
seconds.
without the cutter. And the cutter may be a bit of work to get, because it requires a diamond, and those are only really in the deeper, more dangerous biomes. It used to be fairly easy to find one at the top of the Grand Reef over in this direction, but not so much anymore. So I might have to wait till I get a Seamoth built before I can do that. But I think that was a pretty productive start. And next time we'll be able to do a lot more adventuring. And probably get into the Aurora and fix the drive core. But I think despite all the time I spent in this game during early access, I still just really enjoy playing it. I'm glad that I don't really feel burnt out or anything despite all that time. Because that's obviously a very real concern for playing early access games.
This is Ozzy from the cafeteria. What the hell, guys? They didn't warn us this might happen. Our pod was almost crushed by this Seamoth Bay on the way down. Now we're hanging on the edge of a cave system, and this grim-looking snake thing's trying to eat through the hull. Come get us already.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Yeah, so we need 2 diamonds for this, so we're gonna have to go on a bit of a journey to find those. But that'll have to wait until next time. I've been Shadefyre, this is Subnautica, and I hope you'll join me on my undersea adventure. Take care, everyone.